We're back at it with another UFC main event preview. This time I'm joined by Adil Benjilany. He is an MMA head coach, owner of Benjilany Striking MMA in Chicago. And today he joins me as we dive into the rematch between Merab-Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley at UFC 316, of course, on June 7th. We talked a little bit about, how it's been busy for you and whatnot, but anything coming up for you that's exciting? Anything that's sort of piquing your interest here as a coach?
As a coach, yeah, I think we have Ignacio Bahamondes from Team VFS. He's from
Okay.
Chicago. He's fighting in 3 weeks in Baku, taking on Rafael Fiziev. I think they're probably two of the best strikers in the lightweight division. So
Absolutely.
that's gonna
Great
be a
fight.
firework. Yeah, so it's gonna be all nothing but war on the feet, and you got upcoming kid, hungry, young, talented, and then you got veteran on the other side, and there's one of those fights you got who's gonna be standing, last man standing. So
I
we'll
agree.
see.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I actually can't wait for that one specifically, not just because you're here. Truly, that's a great matchup. And I want to ask you, right, about just sort of the sport, right? As a fighter, coach yourself, right? You're very involved in it. Do you watch a lot of it? Do you watch fighters outside of the ones you work with?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I watch UFC fights all the time. So there's fights on TV. So I watch them. Started from the prelim, the first fight of the prelims.
Okay.
I love watching fights. I'm very involved in fighting. Yeah, man, it's kind of my life. Something that triggers me, and I wake up every day and go to the gym and trying to train myself, get better as well as a martial artist and then as a coach as well. So and then you're learning from everybody. So everybody has different approach, and the game is evolving so much and so fast.
Yeah,
um
absolutely.
Now you got all this, sometimes you got this 20, 21 years old kid showing up to the gym and they can do everything, man. They can wrestle, strike, grapple, and they're just like, it's amazing. So you
It is.
gotta you gotta stay up to the game.
100%. It's the evolution of the sport has been absolutely mind-blowing and growing ever so rapidly. The reason I ask is because I do want to talk about these guys a little bit before we get into the matchup itself, right? You got a guy like, let's start with Merab, right? You look at him from afar, right, with the coaching lenses on, right, with sort of the fighter lens on as well, right? Because that definitely gives you that credibility as far as the insight. What do you see in a guy like Merab? Like, what makes him so special? Just in a general sense, what do you think makes a guy like that so special, so hard to beat?
I think I can relate Merab to Bilal. They have a very close
Yeah,
style.
absolutely.
Um, those, like for example, Merab, like I say, is identically like Bilal, and a lot of guys they will say that. Merab has very hard work ethic. He's not the best striker, not the best grappler, not the best wrestler. Even people says, "Oh, he's the best wrestler." I think he has a gas tank. He has a gas, and he doesn't get tired. And he's very smart. His fight IQ is very up there. People they're sleeping on his fight IQ and think he's just this wrestling guy. He has he's very intelligent, and I think he picks his shots. He knows when to get in and get out, and has some mind games too. He can take you down when he wants. He can strike with you when he wants. He's a little bit on an orthodox, so his striking is not that clean, but it's overwhelming to the point where he can get things done. So it's surprising because a lot of people just hate on him a little bit because he's like, oh, I think he's boring. I think he's
I don't get it though. I don't know because
very
there's a lot of boring
intelligent.
fighters that people just don't. It seems personal with Merab for some reason, you know?
Yes, I think people don't realize how hard you have to work to be a UFC world champion. And the things that Mirab is doing to these guys at the level of the championship level, um, I mean,
Much
I mean,
like
it's mind
Merab, right?
blowing. Say it again.
Kind of like what you said about Merab. It's very similar. The way he just breaks his opponents down and
It's
at every level, even.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like Merab, the thing he does to his opponent at the highest level for 25 minutes, that's mind blowing. I think for casual MMA fan, they don't understand that it's really hard to strike with somebody, take him down, they stand up. You're tired, he's tired. You have to do it all over again, and then for 25 minutes. And it's kind of something that he has something very special out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how's the rematch gonna go.
Yeah, you know what they say that fatigue makes cowards of us all. So, and that applies in every sport. So it's always interesting to see the guys that are sort of resilient to that. It's interesting. We talked about Merab a little bit, right? Let's talk about Sean O'Malley, right? Obviously a very good striker, very sort of unpredictable with his movements, very elusive, has one shot power, right? He could definitely put you out with one shot. What stands out about him? What makes Sean O'Malley special to you?
I think Sean O'Malley, he has a very understanding of the distance. Okay, so he's like you have a sniper in front of you. He understands how to place himself. When I say place himself, we use his footwork to catch his angles, and he has really good reaction time. His reaction time probably is the best in the 135 division. We could see that will happen with Aljamain Sterling. I personally trained recently with Aljamain Sterling. I think his grappling is amazing. It's crazy good. Like that's how good he is.
No doubt. Yep.
Like he takes you down and he's a blanket. Like you're not moving. And now when that happened, I'm like, if Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley touched the ground, it was probably going to be over for Sean O'Malley.
No
But it
doubt.
tells you how good he is. Again, every fight starts on the feet. How good he is to place himself where he placed himself, to pick that shot, to catch him in the right spot, right time, I think is that's very difficult thing to do, man. It's not easy. You have to be very good with your hands, with your reactions, with your footwork to be able to be in that place in that moment to catch somebody like Aljamain Sterling because Aljamain Sterling is a freaking legend of the sport, man. He's really good. So and the way he did it, I think it was mind blown. Um, the only thing I want to see all these changes that Sean O'Malley been talking about, how he distanced himself for social media, the distractions, and again, it's not easy to be Sean O'Malley. You're famous, you're young, you got money, and it's
Yep.
when you have $5 or $10 million in the bank account, you don't want to wake up next day get punched in the face,
Sure.
right? So. We'll see. We'll see how those changes he makes, and it was gonna happen in the fight. But I personally still think Merab's gonna get it done.
Now, I do want to talk about how the fight actually plays out, but before that, I want to go into maybe a different angle here before we get into that briefly. You talked about how, O'Malley was able to get the finish on Aljamain, right? Aljamain, but you also said that there's a good chance if Aljamain would have landed the takedown, that fight might be over, right? It's interesting because a lot of people talked about Tim Welch. I'm not saying this is true, but a lot of people said Tim Welch is the reason why maybe a lot of the things didn't go the way Aljamain would have wanted in that fight. Like he was yelling out things to confuse him. I want to ask you, have you ever been in a corner, a UFC? Like, have you ever cornered a fighter before? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So is there like how do you balance that, right? Because we talked about Tim Merab in the last fight, and then you had Tim Welch who was barking at him. What I'm trying to get at is the coaching seems to be an issue, right, in this matchup. Like you had the Herb Dean stop the fight when Merab was fighting O'Malley, right? In the first fight, which is what I was alluding to, you also had Tim Welch yelling something at Alger that may have confused him. Like when you're in a UFC corner, how do you balance that, right? Do you just focus on your fighter? Do you ever actually say anything to the other fighter? Is it distracting? Because you've been in the cage as well. Like, talk to me about that.
So it really depends on every coach how they do it. You have some coaches they're very professional. They go out there and they try to just connect with their athletes and then just guide them.
Yeah.
Again, you have to understand. I'm sure you did so many interviews like that before. When you have a coach, when you have an athlete out there, it's like you're riding a horse. Like when you ride a horse, you don't hold on tight to the horse. You loosen up and then just guiding the horse. Sometimes turn here, turn here. It's
Mm.
the same thing as a fighter. And you have some guys, for example, that go there and talk like crap, like some you do all these mind games against your opponents. Like, oh, he's getting tired, he's getting this, he's getting that. Let's get this angle, so let me get him overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
there's all these things, these mind games that you can play. Uh, that going back to Aljamain Sterling, that Tim Walsh situation, is it true? Not true? Who knows? Probably, but we don't even know what's and the only people they can know people that were close to that cage.
Hmm.
So probably Algerman Sterling thought he was his coach. He was his corner and went for it. Probably not. But again, it's a totally different world out there. Everything goes fast, too fast. Like
And to be
it's
fair,
kind of
Aljamain did
hard.
say that he didn't hear anything, but I
Yeah,
was just I was just alluding to how that
yeah,
sort of factors into a fight, a coach sort of yelling at not just his fighter but the other one. Because in any other fight, I wouldn't even bring this up, but just the fact
yeah,
that in the last fight they had to stop it because of the
yeah.
coaches in the corner, I thought it was kind of interesting to bring up.
I think it was probably mind games as well. But if Algerman
Sure.
says I didn't hear it, so that means I think it's just the media making the big, big thing out of it to promote the fights and things like that, which
Yep.
is
Yep.
you don't blame them. So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
no. You got to sell it, right? So
yeah.
let's talk about O'Malley, staying on the topic of O'Malley here. What do you think should be his primary area of focus heading into this fight? Like if you were his coach, what would you be working on the most?
Man, if I was Sean O'Malley, I'm gonna have him moving on his feet 25 minutes nonstop. He can't have your back against the cage. You can
Anything to avoid the
overextend
takedowns?
yourself. It's gonna be hard, but everything has to come from the middle. You gotta drop your level a little bit. Try to. He's tall guy. You gotta. I personally, if I'm fighting somebody, if my guys fighting Merab, I will have probably their shin under his shin. Like drop your level, get to the same level as his, so you can see the takedowns coming, and just box him the whole time, man.
Got it.
If you want, put those kicks in the middle, just like push kicks to get create space. O'Malley
Yep.
is really good at that. You gotta put on a boxing clinic, man, and just like be ready to stop the takedown. Yeah.
How do you balance throwing too many shots, overexposing yourself, and sort of protecting yourself from being taken down? How do you balance that?
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice your face for that.
There you go.
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice taking shots so you don't get taken down. It's easy said than done at that level where those guys are fighting. But yeah, you get. Oh, I think O'Malley will do fine this round, this fight. I think he's gonna make a lot of adjustments. He's gonna come ready. I just still think Mirab has more tools to beat him.
Yeah. Speaking about Merab, right? From the Merab perspective now, he won the fight already, but if you're Merab's coach, what do you think should be the most important thing to focus on in this fight?
I think you have to make sure Sean O'Malley doesn't get comfortable. Once he starts finding his range and his rhythm, I think that's where he gets dangerous. I think we all know that cardio been always an issue of him. Like
Yeah.
again, he survived so many wars, but like you can tell he's tired, and he keeps coming out and be like, "Oh, I pushed myself, I survived
Yeah, in the
against."
beginning, he was just finishing everybody, so he was never
Yeah,
going the distance. But you start to face some
yeah,
of those guys in the top five, and it's going to start to get a little more difficult,
different.
right?
Now you go against Peter Yan and come out like, "Oh my God, I pushed myself, I almost died there." It's like, man, you're gonna be a champion, so I
Get
don't think
used
you
to
should
it,
say
right?
those things. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I think Mirab has to make him uncomfortable, like we always know. Like pick his shot, chop the legs. Like we know he has that messed up leg, so probably he should attack that leg more often, and then just keep moving, try to put him against the fence to wrestle him. Uh, yeah, just Mirab keep doing what Mirab does. So just keep him down, take him down, and control him.
So for fight one, right, you look at it, it was a fight where Merab just pretty much had his way. Like the game
Yeah.
plan worked to a T, at least from what I saw. I'm no expert, but it seemed like it was just a game plan that worked to perfection. Do you see fight two playing out similarly to fight one? Like, do you think it'll be any different? Do you think it'll be the same? What do you think?
I personally think Mirab's gonna be better than the first fight. I think
Which is
he's gonna
kind of
have.
hard to imagine because he kind of dominated him, right?
I mean, you have a kind of confidence boost, especially go out there and beat uh, Umar Nurmagomedov.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's a great
I
point. I didn't even
mean,
take that into consideration because that did
yeah,
happen in between the two fights, right? It's not like we came from the last fight. We're
hmm,
going back into fight two now. He just
yes,
took out a guy who,
hmm,
man, I mean, I don't know who picked him to win that fight. Not many people. So great point.
yeah. I mean, you beat somebody like Omar Nurmagomedov, it's not easy, and then you turn around, you're gonna fight Sean O'Malley again, and then you have Sean O'Malley stay on the side probably for almost a year. So that's what
True,
I'm
true.
trying to see. I just think Mirab now is on the top of the world, and he's has a big confidence boost, and he's a champion. When you're a champion, you believe like no one's gonna take that belt from you.
That's kind of
Yeah.
why I like to do these because you sort of open my eyes to something, right? If you think about it, as far as the momentum, one guy's been sitting out for a year. Another guy just came out beating Umar, right? Like Marab's literally up here. O'Malley's sort of maybe he's not on the decline. He lost one fight, but two guys that are sort of in different trajectories. It seems like.
Oh, for sure. Sometimes, like for example, there is some guys, especially strikers, they like to take this long layoffs. Like you get 4, 5, 6 months. The
Really,
reason you gotta let your body heal, especially if you're a kicker, your shins are messed up. Your
it's a
hands
good
are
point.
messed up.
It's a good
People
point.
don't see those things, and then that's why you have these strikers that only want to fight 2 times a year, 2, 3 times a year, because there's so many injuries. And your body, and as much as you And at the level where these guys fight, again, it's the highest level of the competition, you know? And they're power through. There is, I don't haven't never met any fighter, even myself, that got to the fight with no injuries, you know? So um, that's why probably Sean O'Malley, are we gonna see if that layoff is helping him, or that was a bad thing for him? He's either gonna go, then he's gonna be off. His time is gonna be off. He's gonna be all over the place, or probably that was the best thing that ever happened to him. We only gonna know about it when they fight, you know.
That is the beauty of it. We're going to find out on the night of the fight either way. A couple other things, and we'll wrap up here. Is that going to be in his head? You know, he's going to go into the fight and say, I can't be as loose. I can't, my striking can't, is it going to be as maybe as effective as it needs to? Because in the back of my head, I'm going to have the thought of, what if this guy takes me down again and I can't get up round after round? Do you think that's going to be in his head?
I think Sean O'Malley kind of have nothing to lose in this fight more than Merab has a lot to lose in this fight.
Really?
I
How
think
so?
so. I mean, if you look at Sean O'Malley lifestyle outside of the UFC, he's kind of the guy he's set. You know, he doesn't probably need to fight again.
Probably not. You're right. Yeah.
If he like I retire tomorrow, he got so much money, he's famous, he's probably made good money, he's still making money outside of the
Sure.
UFC, he's a millionaire. So when you get to that level, it's just again, what is your motivation?
Mm.
That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to
Marab
wake
seems
up.
to have motivation, right? That guy's
Exactly.
climbing mountains and you see him out there
Yes.
punching trees and
So I might be wrong, but I think he's gonna be less pressure on O'Malley going to this fight. I think he's gonna have his moments. I don't think we can't counting him out 100%. I think he's gonna have his moment. He might even hurt Merab sometimes. He gets some those moments. I just think he does not gonna have no. I think I just feel like he's going with the mentality that I have nothing to lose. I'm just gonna leave it all there, you know, and it might work, you know. But
yeah.
again, I personally think Merab's gonna be on the top of it.
So I want to ask your final prediction. I would probably say I think Marab wins a unanimous decision. What about you? What do you say?
I think so too.
Do you think it's any closer than the first fight?
Uh, I think Merab's gonna dominate this time.
I
I
kind of hard
yeah.
for me to disagree with you, honestly.
I think he's gonna rush him. I think the takedown's gonna be even better than the first round. Is gonna get there. I think the first fight was more like they were kind of he just fought Aljamain Sterling. They kind of like, well, wait, watch out for the kick, watch out for the hand, watch out for he pulls and he comes back with a pull and come back and counter. So I think this time Merab is gonna force his game plan on Sean O'Malley, and I think he's gonna be taking him down. I don't say it at ease, but he's gonna probably take him down whenever he wants to. Wear
Absolutely.
him
So
down.
yeah, no, I listen. I'm in full agreement of that. So I guess that's a good area. We could just leave it at that. And is there anything else upcoming that you would want the people to know? Any upcoming fights you're part of, coaching or anything, events or just anything of that nature?
Also, we have Julianna Peña. So I'm still teammate that's VFS in
Well, there you
Chicago,
go.
and
That's on the
with
same
Julianna Peña,
card.
she's the co-main event.
Sure.
And yeah, I see how hard she trains right now. She's very excited. She's motivated, and she's ready to take over. Yeah, she's very dangerous, man. And I see her locked. I mean, she's locked in. She's all in. That's pretty much it. And then we have Ignacio Bahamondes in 2 weeks in Baku, so
Yep.
that's exciting one too. And then
Two
we
very
continue.
exciting
Yeah,
matchups.
it's gonna be a good one. So we're excited. We're just helping the teammates out and make sure everybody's ready. And then whatever they guys need, then we'll make sure it happens.
No doubt about it. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for this edition. Coach, thank you for providing us with some insight ahead of this fun matchup. Be sure to check out UFC 316 on June 7th for this championship rematch, and all the best to you, man.